Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel, a place where we talk all things beauty. So today we are talking and trying on all 8 shades of the new Prism Pop Pigments from Moira Beauty. Well, they're not technically new, they have launched quite a while ago, but they're new to me. I have recently featured them in my recent PR haul. I worn them a couple of times, I've played with them. I think I wore 4 shades so far, and I've been just so impressed with this formula and the performance. And that what pushed me to finally sit down and do this video for you guys. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about the performance, pricing, packaging, all of that, and of course we will swatch all 8 shades on my eyes. So if you love a good bold metallic or duochrome cream eyeshadow, especially one that works on hooded eyes, because I have hooded eyes, hopefully you will love this video, hopefully you will find it helpful. And if you do, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell because it really helps my channel grow. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. Alright, first let's do a quick little rundown before we jump into swatches. The Prism Pop Pigments are Moira Beauty's cream shadows that come in a squeezy tube with this nice precise tip. I like how it's super easy to control how much product you use. You get 8 milliliters of product in each tube, which is actually a pretty generous amount for something this pigmented. Formula feels like a creamy gel. It goes on really smooth and feels kind of cooling. You get plenty of playtime to blend it out, but once it sets, it does not budge or crease, and I have hooded eyes and I really put that to the test. Moira describes this as smudge-proof, crease-proof and super high intensity. And honestly, I agree with all of those claims. And you can use them with or without eye primer. Honestly, they work well either way. They are cruelty-free, vegan, paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and gluten-free, which I know is important for a lot of you guys. And they retail for $9.50, which I feel like is such an amazing price for something so high intensity, so fun, sparkly, yet so wearable. And I also do happen to have an affiliate code with Moira Beauty. It's Elena15. If you want to save a little bit of money. Alright, now let's start swatching. I will be applying 1 shade on each eye. So we have 8 shades, which means we will be doing 4 rounds total. Alright, let's get into it. I am absolutely loving my new haircut, but I'm still kind of getting used to it because I got it only yesterday. But let's start with the shade 001 Sugar Plum, and I would describe this one as a maroon base with a green shift to it. Now it says on Moira's website that we can use our fingers to apply, which I don't mind using fingers, but maybe not with such deeper shades. I will use my finger with this Cuddle Cloud shade for sure, but for deeper shades like this Sugar Plum one, I'm gonna use this dense flat brush. And of course, as always, I zoomed you guys in, but I will just go ahead and squeeze a tiny bit on the back of my hand, and I will pick up the product on the brush and then start applying it to my eyelid. Oh wow, that shift is so strong, and a little bit goes a long way with these. I'm just taking my towel and getting rid of any excess product we have on the brush, and then I will gently blend out this shade with the same brush just to get rid of any harsh lines. I love that these give you some time to play with and blend out before they completely dry down and set. Okay, this one doesn't feel wet anymore. It seems like it's set down completely. Let's just do a couple of taps. Yeah, there's almost nothing on my finger. And this is what the shade 001 Sugar Plum looks like. I feel like it's such a gorgeous neutral shade, but with a little bit of a twist to it. I love that this formula is still somewhat sheer. It's pigmented, but it's not overly opaque. I just love that because I feel like I can wear these on a daily basis. And of course, the shift on this one is absolutely stunning. Alright, moving along to the shade 002 Happy Holo. And if we compare it to the Sugar Plum, the previous one we've tried on, the Happy Holo leans a little bit more on a warm brown neutral side in the base. And here I swatched them side by side for you guys to see how they compare. Here we have 001 Sugar Plum and this is 002 Happy Holo. And I'm gonna do the same thing, squeeze out a tiny bit on the back of my hand. And I'm picking it up with the same brush and I'm gonna start applying this one. Let's see what it gives. And I'm just gonna gently tap off on the edges of the shade to kind of blend it in. Alright, these definitely look a little bit similar once they are applied on the eyes. Honestly, their bows are really stunning. There's just a tiny bit of difference in the base. We get a little bit more brown with the Happy Holo, a little bit of maroon shade with the Sugar Plum. And I also feel like the green shift is a little bit brighter on the Happy Holo than the Sugar Plum. And even though they are both absolutely stunning, I do wish we had a little bit more of a variety here. I don't feel like we absolutely needed them both. They just look a little bit too similar for my liking on the eyes, but with that being said, I love my neutrals, and these two will probably my most used shades out of all of these 8. But what do you guys think? Which one is your favorite, Sugar Plum or Happy Holo? Let me know in the comments. Alright, 2 down, 6 more to go. Let's move on to the shade 003 Frosted Fantasy. How absolutely stunning the shade is. I feel like this is such an appropriate name for this shade when I look at certain lengths, and mind you, I have some artificial light here, but it has so many purple sparkles in it. Let's try it on. And with this one, let's actually use our fingers to apply as Moira advises. I don't really feel like fingers is my preferred method, but okay, it works really well. Okay, so finger method will give you more of like a wash of color all over the lid kind of deal. And I feel like with brush you get so much more punch and pigment. Let's just see if we can build it up a little bit. And again, I will use my fingers. I'm just curious to see how far we can go with this one before it starts creasing, because again, this is cream product and I don't want to over apply because I feel like it will make it crease. This definitely helped to amp up that pigment. But this is for the shade 003 Frosted Fantasy. Looks like it's a gorgeous gray base with a ton of light silver sparkles, and there's also purple sparkles too. This one is definitely for my cool toned lovers, and I feel like it would go so well with purple eyeshadow too. It's stunning. Alright, let's move on to the shade 004 Cuddle Cloud, and this is what it looks like swatched. It's absolutely gorgeous. However, I will say I don't see any duochrome shift or flip to it. I try to look at it at all the angles, but yeah, this is like a really beautiful white gold situation. And I think I'm gonna use my fingers for this one too. The formula feels whipped and lightweight, but let's see how this shade looks like on. Finger definitely gives a more of a natural application, so I will just keep building it up. Alright, so this is what it looks like after me going in for about 3 times to build it up. It's this gorgeous neutral light gold. I feel like it would pair so beautifully with your neutral eyeshadows. And I also feel like it would make such an amazing inner corner highlight. I do wish, however, we got something a little bit deeper in tone. Something like a true golden eyeshadow. Something super simple to throw on and go. Like a perfect one and done eyeshadow. Just because I feel like even though this one is stunning, but I will not reach for it a lot just because it's so bright. So basically, Moira, we need a shade expansion, please. And again, we have 003 Frosted Fantasy on this eye, and we have 004 Cuddle Cloud on this one. Alright, we're half through, and look at this pair we are swatching next. I'm obsessed. I already wore this one. This is 005 Bubbly Bliss, and it's just such a fun shade. It's like a light pink with a really strong blue to lavender shift to it. So beautiful. Let's try something new with this one. Let's squeeze the product onto the eyelid like that, and then I'm gonna grab my brush and start blending it out. Oh, that shift is insane. That literally took 3 seconds to blend out. I'm gonna grab a little bit more product. I just want to build it up so that you guys can see the shift in all of its glory. A little bit of blending, and I think we are done. Alright, and this is what the shade 005 Bubbly Bliss looks like. I almost wanted to say Barbie Bliss just because it's so Barbie coded to me. That blue shift is so strong on this one, it's insane. Alright, moving on to the deepest of the bunch. This is 006 Holo Flash. This is like a deep gunmetal gray shade with a strong silver flip to it. There's a tiny bit of deep blue sparkles in it, but it's not too prominent. I love that we have these little caps to preserve the product so it won't dry out. And I'm definitely using my brush for this Holo Flash shade, just because I feel like I would make such a mess with my finger. Oh, wow. Yeah, she did not come to play. But this as a base for all your deep smoky eyes. Come on now. I'm just gonna grab a little blending brush and blend out the edges a little bit. Alright, I feel like I did a pretty decent job of blending it out. It's not perfect, but we are not about perfection on this channel. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more just because I feel like I've lost a little bit of that pigment while blending it out. And I'm back to my blending brush. But yeah, this is what the shade 006 Holo Flash looks like. Very dramatic, very intense, very smoky eyes. And I feel like it blended out so well for such a deep shade. It doesn't look patchy or weird. I'm very impressed with this one. And again, we have 005 Bubbly Bliss on this eye and 006 Holo Flash on this one. Which one is your favorite? And we have last pair. Honestly, I can't believe we add the final two. I just want to keep going because these are so fun. First we have 007 Minty Mirage, and it's like a light green shade with a strong purple shift to it. It honestly gives me mermaid vibes. And this one actually stains. It totally stained my finger when I was swatching it. Just something to keep in mind. It doesn't really bother me, but I know some people care about it. And again, I'm just picking it on the brush and applying it to my eyelid. Ooh, this is such a fun shade. I love that they gave a couple of options. We have our neutral shades, but we also have these fun, colorful ones. Oh, such a beautiful wash of color. I'm just gonna keep building it up a little bit, just like that. Wow, this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I love that it's true mint shade. It's not overly foresty green, and it's not warm toned. I love this one. And our final shade is 008 Shooting Star, and this one has a blue base with a strong purple shift to it. I'm loving these pop of colors. Ooh, wow. Okay, and this is what one layer of it looks like. I will try to build it up a little bit again. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I love that these are really buildable and you can kind of control how you would wear them. More sheer or a little bit more pigmented. And this is what this pair looks like. We have 007 Minty Mirage on this eye. And we have this beautiful blue 008 Shooting Star. Alright you guys, so I've ended up throwing this 007 Minty Mirage shade on both of my eyelids just because your girl loves a good green eyeshadow. I also added a little bit of this 24/7 Glide on Eye Pencil from Urban Decay. This one is in the shade Deep End. I just put it in my waterline for a little bit of depth. And I finished with this Intense Volume and Length Mascara, also from Moira Beauty. Alright, so we've tried on all 8 shades, and I must say, I'm genuinely impressed with this formula. The finish is so reflective, the formula is really smooth, I love how blendable it is. I also appreciate that they don't dry down too fast. I actually have some time to work and play with them before they fully lock in. There's no creasing. I really appreciate how long wearing they are, just because it's something really important to me when it comes to cream eyeshadows because of my hooded eyes. If I had to narrow it down, my top 3... Now let's do top 4. Would be 001 Sugar Plum. I'm a little bit weak when it comes to these maroon shades just because I have green eyes and they really bring my eyes out. I also love 002 Happy Holo just because I feel like it's the most neutral out of them all, and I love a good neutral eyeshadow on a daily basis. I'm also absolutely obsessed with this 005 Bubbly Bliss. I've already wore it a couple of times. And of course we have to have a little pop of color, and 007 Minty Mirage is my choice. Also, next time I do my makeup, I will try the shade 006 Holo Flash as my eyeliner. We'll see how that works out. But honestly, I don't feel like you can go wrong with any of them because they are all so beautiful. If you decide to grab any of these pigments, they are available on Moira's website. And of course, don't forget to use my affiliate code to save some money. I will make sure to pop it in the description down below too. But thank you so much for watching and playing with fun shimmers with me. Let me know in the comments which shade was your favorite, or if you tried this already. If you had fun watching this video or if you found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my future upload. I love you guys all so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!